Hey everybody, it's Jean, and I had just started working, and I thought I better check my camera to see if I turned it on, and I hadn't. So you didn't see this from the beginning, but close enough. At least I wasn't too far in. But I decided I've been interested in doodling. Kylie Koo's um, uh, Facebook page. The challenge is to do some doodling this week. And so I've been just doodling in pencil, and I don't normally doodle, and so it's kind of hard for me. And so I was just kind of playing around, and I was enjoying the pencil part, and then I had to paint it in, and then I thought, why don't I doodle with some paint? So I thought, okay, well, that sounds like it might be kind of fun. So I decided to go ahead and record it, and I thought I better put a little background on first. So anyway, That's how I'm kind of starting out, and boy, did I get this wet. It was drying on me so fast, and I was using acrylics, and I thought I could paint both sides of this paper without without it drying, but I just got it way, way, way wet. And so anyway, so I'm trying to kind of smash it together, see what we come up with, and oh wow. So I thought, oh gosh, I don't know. But I kind of liked how it looked. So I thought, well, can I still work with it? Or do I have to just close this up in my book and forget it? My recommendation at this point is use sturdier paper. I had been looking for the the magazine that I had folded in half, and I thought I would do it on that. And then I couldn't find it. I was impatient to start, and I thought, well, I'll just do it in this book. This is just kind of my everyday go-to funky junky, chunky junky, and I'll go ahead and put it in that. So I straightened it out, as you can see, and I'm just going to tape these pages back together, and we'll see. And what I'm going to do is tape a paper, or take that next page over and glue it down, and give it some extra strength. I didn't do that yet, but I just taped it because I don't know. I just wasn't sure where I was going to go with that. But anyway, so so that's where I stand right now. And yeah, it's rough. It's rough. But I thought, well, who cares? Who really cares? This is my journal. I can do what I want, and I'm going to still play around with it. What I didn't notice early on is the very, very top left-hand page. It had pulled all the paper completely off, and the only thing at the top that you can see is the napkin that was supposed to be glued to the paper, but it must not have been glued very well. The napkin is still there, but the paper is all on the other side. So I was kind of not sure what I was going to do with that, and then I just decided, well, I'll just glue a piece of paper across the top, and we'll just go with it. And that seemed like overkill. It seemed like just a little too much there, but I'm playing around. I'm just playing around with it, and we'll just see what comes of it. Believe it or not, it actually did turn out. So so anyway, I just thought this would be fun, and I didn't realize I was going to have to do so much repair work before I could even start. And the thing is that I thought of this just after I went to bed. So I was laying there thinking, well, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do that tomorrow. That's going to be so fun. I'm really looking forward to doing that tomorrow. And I could not fall asleep. So I got up, and you can see my messy, messy, messy desk. I got up right then and there. It was, 1 o'clock, about something like that, and I just decided to do it. Do it right now. No time like the present. I don't have to get up and do anything in the morning, and as it was, I'm doing my voiceover today, and I did this last night. So I know how much sleep I got. It wasn't much. See, I think I ended up going to bed around 4 because once I was done with this, I couldn't sleep either because I was all keyed up. I just had such a good time with it. But anyway, I'm just grabbing old paints that I have laying there. I'm not choosing any colors in particular. I just what I happened to have in that room, and I had some yellow, and I had some gray, and I had some phthalo blue, and the red is called Christmas red. Now, to me, I'm thinking Christmas red is a little bit brighter, but anyway, they call it Christmas red. It's the folk art paint. And most of this paint is, except for the blue, is what I've picked up at the thrift store. And I mean, I'm getting it for 99 cents a pound, so it's like 4 ounces of paint, getting it for about a quarter. And it's just I get overwhelmed with paint, so I need to use it up. A lot of times it's old paint. It's not that great. I have to shake it and shake it and shake it. Sometimes it's thick and it's grainy. Sometimes it's not. But to me, it gives it a lot of texture. It's just always different. So I'm starting. I'm finally starting here, putting in some marks and just seeing where this is going to take me. I really don't have any plan. I'm not trying to recreate something in my mind. I'm just doodling. I'm just playing and doodling as I go with a paintbrush instead of a pencil. So to me, this is a lot more fun. And I encourage you to try this. But like I say, use something a little more sturdy. You know what I think I would use if it was me? And the next time I'm going to try this, I have a booklet that came in the mail that has somewhat heavier paper. And I thought, I'm just going to cover the booklet with paint. And I'll probably video it too. But I'll cover the booklet, and that'll give me a little bit, another layer underneath to add, because it won't completely cover. Because you know what this is? Most of this is, I thought it was acrylics at first, but some of this is a watercolor, but it's the thicker watercolor. So, like the red and the yellow and the gray is acrylic, but the blue is watercolor. Does that make sense? The watercolor is in a tube, and you're supposed to thin it out. But anyway, this is what I'm doing, and I'm just having a good time with it. And I love circles and dots. I really can't stress how much fun I had doing this. It was a blast. So I have been so busy this past week. I've just been uh, kind of spring cleaning, getting out a little bit, going places. Our local art museum celebrated their 100th birthday on Sunday, and I went down and participated in all the activities. They had, at the very beginning, they had things going on everywhere. So the thing I did first is I went to the auditorium, and there were four half an hour or 25-minute performances. And the first one was, it's like a puppet theater, but it's like Muppets, but you saw the people, they're in black, and they aren't behind a screen. You see them operating the puppets. It was actually quite fascinating. And it was a little girl pretending to be a butterfly, and she was jumping around and hopping on a stump and all and up into a tree and all that. But it was fascinating watching them work the arms and all that, and you almost forgot they were there if you started watching the little girl. But of course, I had a little bit of trouble just watching the little girl because I always have to see everything. But that was fun and that was different, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then the next thing was break dancing, and they had a team from Cincinnati and a team from Dayton, and they came in, and for half an hour they did break dancing, and they were really fabulous, very fun to watch. I took the front row seat because I always like to be up close to everything, and so I was kind of at the floor was almost at eye level to me, and they were on the floor a lot. So it was really, really interesting. The next half an hour was a show, a movie that they played, a film about the history of the art museum, and I had no idea it had actually been an art institute. It's called the Dayton Art Institute, but I had no idea that they had actually had classes there and gave out degrees in art. So that was fascinating. But you got to see all the areas of the art museum that aren't open to the public. If they went up into the rafters, they went out into areas that are closed off because they're unsafe, and different places. So it was really, really quite fascinating. And then the last half an hour was a children's choir, and they were wonderful. They it's called the Kettering's Children's Choir, and they were very, very good. And I just thoroughly enjoyed their music. They did a medley from La La Land, and then there were some solos. And then by that time it was 2, and everybody was supposed to meet in the one big area for singing happy birthday. And so I found my way there, and when I walked in, it was just, balloons and lights and tables, and everybody was just all in anticipation. There were going to be refreshments served afterwards, and so it was a little bit of a wait, but it was fun, and everybody sang happy birthday. And then there was somebody there, a man who was actually 100 years old that day. So everybody sang again to Edgar, who was 100 years old on, let's see, I think it was the 7th, on April 7th, which was Sunday. So I did that, and then I went into another room, and there was a man doing art. He was drawing you as a character, characterizations Anyway, and that was free, so the line was tremendously long, and I just couldn't stand in that line. I knew I wasn't going to be able to stand in the line. So I went over to another place where they were taking photographs, and I had a photograph made of me holding an art palette and, I love Dayton or something. And they gave me that. And then they had opened up their exhibit that they normally charge for, and that was free today. That was free on that day. So I got to go through that and see all these beautiful American paintings, and I saw one that was Maxfield Parrish, which was exciting to me because that's part of the Betsy Tacy series. They talk about Maxfield Parrish, and so I saw some of his work and a picture of him. And then I went down and found the magician. He had performed earlier in the day that I had missed, so I went and I waited down there for the magician. And then after the magician, I went out, and when I went outside, I was really surprised because I didn't think there was anything outside the museum, but in the front of it, they had a juggler on stilts, with the really long pants on, and Spider-Man and different things. And so that was, it was like a little sideshow out in front. So it was really, really fun. I was so glad that I went. And guess what? I watched the news that night, and I was on it. While I was in the auditorium in the front row, you could see me very well. And my son saw me later on in the birthday room singing happy birthday, but I didn't see it. I missed it. But he said, yeah, he says, you were on twice. So it's really fun because there's a little web page or something that they put up every Monday, and they said, were you spotted this weekend? And I've never been spotted. So of course, I really haven't started looking. I've really tried to start going to events that they advertise on Sundays just to get out, because my house is small and I felt like I was getting stiffer and stiffer, and I thought I need to really get out and do some walking and limber up because I was having so much trouble. But anyway, that's my little story that I was going to tell while you were watching this. And so I'm carrying along here, thinking about doing little marks and playing. I hope you're enjoying this. It can be kind of relaxing to watch. It never had occurred to me to doodle with paint before. But it's way more fun to do. And I already am thinking of another way of doing it too. So I can't hardly wait to do another one. Well, people doodle all the time. They doodle at work. They doodle while they're watching TV. My mother used to doodle a lot. And I never was one to do that. I never felt like I could draw. My drawings embarrassed me. I didn't want to leave evidence. So I never got in the habit of doing any doodling. If I did, I would do something like a Zentangle kind of a doodle. And that might be kind of fun to do in paint. Or I would draw daisies. Daisies are my go-to doodle, or a Zentangle kind of a thing where you make like a triangle, and then you make another triangle outside of it bigger, and then another one bigger. And that's really my normal style of doodling. So I'm trying to stretch a little bit with this. And the colors are not my favorite. What I really need to do is go through my stash. I could have gone out I do have other paints, Or I could have used my watercolors, which are much prettier, I think. I was afraid I was going to get paint on the other page, and this is even kind of crooked there. The page is crooked. There's an extra one. So I was thinking I was going to get it on the other page, which I liked that page before, and you did see where I at the beginning I folded it over to smash my paint together, and I forgot to stay there for a little bit so you could see that page, because I hadn't shown you that one yet. But sorry. that's how that worked out. Now I thought, oh, this just needs a little bit of a fill in. So I'm surprised that this doesn't show up close. I might have to go back. I don't know if I can go back after doing a voiceover and bring this up closer. But yeah, some of that spatter doesn't show up really well in the video, but it shows up great when I was doing it. I was liking it. The only thing that didn't show up at the very beginning, see that on the right side, that one large red bar, there's gray paint on the outside of that, gray dots, and those didn't show up. Just pretty much everything else did. I should probably just put on some music and not sit and talk your ear off. But I think I'm already halfway there. And this is kind of a long video to watch a doodle. But if you want, you can turn your sound down and you can speed it up to 2 times the speed. And that way it'll go a lot faster. This is a little late to be telling you this, but I'll put it in the comment box down below. So if you didn't happen to see it when you first got here, at least you can hurry up and finish through this if you want. So I'm looking at my purple section of the paint box at the very top, and I'm seeing a face there. Isn't that funny? I tend to see faces in things, and I was watching somebody paint the other day, and I thought to myself, I wonder if they see the face that's there, because it wasn't featured and they didn't talk about it, but I kind of wondered. See, I'm just really big on circles. I love circles and dots. My son came in, when I had just started. I think I only had the yellow, it's the very beginning when I did the yellow marks, and then I had maybe one red mark, and he came in and he said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I said, well, I'm doodling with paint. And he said, "Okay." He says, "How do you like it so far?" And I said, "Well, I'm just starting." And he said, "Okay, I'll see it tomorrow." And he left. He sometimes stays late here, even after I go to bed, and then goes home. So he came over in the morning this morning, and he said, "Oh, That turned out pretty nice. I like that. He's pretty positive about my art. He's been very nice about all the ladies that I do. And he says, "Oh yeah, I think that was better than yesterday's." Or he'll say, "Well, I liked that one last week a lot, really a lot better than what you did today." And so he's pretty honest, and you need a good, honest critic around you. I don't like someone to be a yes person. See how I'm painting with this stick at the end of the paintbrush? When I first was on the Facebook group, Art It Out, they always called it stick painting. I'm painting with my sticks. I'm painting with my sticks. And I couldn't figure out how they could get, I couldn't figure it out how they painted with those sticks. And I kept trying, and mine just looked terrible, terrible. Then I figured out what they were doing. What they were doing was pulling sticks and saying, use red paint, or pulling a stick and saying, draw flowers or something. And that's what they were calling their stick painting. And but I only saw the end result, and I didn't see them drawing the sticks, and I didn't see them doing the painting. So it was really kind of funny that I thought they were actually painting with sticks, and I thought, I can't do that. So I'm trying not to be really careful. I don't want to make this in perfect squares. I don't want to do anything, I'm not a perfect person, and I don't like to do anything perfect. And I just keep adding and adding and adding. And I'm even wondering if it might be possible to even collage over it. Maybe make this just as a background. But I didn't. I'm just leaving it as is for now. And I used the same paintbrush for the whole doodle. And it does a little bit better with these, I think, than circles. This is, I like this kind of a mark. It's actually kind of fun for me to watch it again. I had to do a voiceover because, like I say, once I'd gotten started and I hadn't been talking, I didn't want to just start talking. So anyway, I thought, well, maybe I can catch you up on what I've been up to and what I've been doing. And I got yesterday I got my patio sorted out. When I moved here, they put a lot of boxes and tables and just kind of piled it up in the patio. And over the winter, I just left everything. Because it's a covered patio with glass. It's like a jealousy glass where you can roll the glass out to let air in. So it's waterproof. And so I just left everything that was there. And I got to it yesterday and started organizing and cleaning it out. And now I have a patio to sit in. I had breakfast out there this morning and my coffee. Oh my gosh, it was so nice. But it was so pleasant yesterday. It was just a beautiful, beautiful, warm, lovely, sunny afternoon. And you don't get those too much in Ohio, it seems like. But it definitely reminded me of winter in Florida. And it was so, so wonderful. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And when I had been here the other 2 summers, I didn't get to use the patio that much because I didn't have patio furniture because I was leaving it in Florida, but now I have my patio furniture, which isn't great patio furniture, but it's really nice for me. I have some pieces that I had picked up from Pottery Barn, a nice armchair and it's in teak, and then a teak table and chairs, and then I have a lounger, and I have 2 cushions on it because I had 2 loungers, and one of them disintegrated. the plastic disintegrated during the time I was in Florida. So this one was still in really good shape. It was not near the edges, so it didn't get a lot of weather on it on my Florida patio. So so it was still in really good shape, and so I brought it, and then I put both cushions on top, and it's really soft to sit on, and it's a little bit higher to sit on because I have a little bit of a struggle getting in and out of these really low pieces of patio furniture. So here I've gotten out my permanent marker in black, and I thought I'd just fill in with some doodling that you really can't. I like to do this on my drawings. I usually use like a fine tip ink pen, but this is so chunky. This doodle was so chunky, I thought I could get away with just my black marker. And I thought the fine ink fountain pen might get lost. So so now I'm just kind of filling in and making it accenting all the little marks that I've made. And started making a few more marks. I wasn't really loving that, so I didn't do any more of that. But the rest of it I was pretty happy with. It just amazes me how just by outlining painted objects, it just makes them pop. I'm finishing up my morning coffee. And I better not do that. I think that was a little noisy. Sorry about that. I won't do that again. No need to turn off your camera. But I'm getting up there, close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers. I hope that you guys share some of my videos, some of your favorites of mine, if you want to share those. I'm down to just needing about 150 more, and then I'll meet my goal, and that's that way I can put my advertisements back on. Now, I don't fill mine full of advertisements. In fact, I wasn't even advertising the whole time. And then I started advertising and just putting one on at the beginning. And then they changed the rules, said you had to have 1,000 subscribers and so many hours of viewing. Well, I had the hours of viewing, but I didn't have the subscribers. So they removed all the advertisement. And I just, I thought, well, it'll come, it'll come back. And I don't really care. But if I'm going to do this, I have so many up that it might be a little bit of a revenue so that I can purchase new art supplies and try new things and make better videos. So that's kind of my goal, is to get my 1,000 subscribers. So I'm almost there. And you can help by sharing and telling other people to come in and take a look, and if they like it, then maybe they'll subscribe. So that would really help me out. That was fun. I like doing those little loopy things. I thought, oh, this is really fun. I really like that. And I think I actually had a lot of fun with this marker. I mean, I think I can safely say that even though it was very fun with the paintbrush, I had just as much fun with the marker part of it afterwards. And I did have to wait a little bit of time. It doesn't show that I've waited. I had to wait a little bit of time because the dots were thick and I didn't want to mess up the dots. So if you are doing that, be mindful that things don't all dry at the same rate. So I'm getting up close to the end. I can't believe I've done the voiceover for this whole thing in one shot. Now, if you'll notice, I'm not real careful about drawing exactly on the lines. I like the carelessness of it. Now, those dots don't show up in the video, but they did show up pretty close. And then I forgot to do a couple when I did my close-up on this. But anyway, so the last thing I did, there we go. The last thing I did on this is I know why I put that on. It was torn. It was torn, and I wanted to give it a little more protection. I'm going to go back and put the pink back on there, but I couldn't grab the pink quick enough. Couldn't find the pink. But anyway, this was the last thing I did. I outlined it in black very carelessly, like you would with a little Stabilo, just kind of, or with like the ink. But I think it gives it kind of a finished edge a little bit. Not that this is finished or completed in any way, but it was just something fun to do. And I really do encourage you to get out any kind of paint you have, watercolor or whatever, and just randomly doodle and see what you come up with. And because I think this was one of the most relaxing and enjoyable things that I have done in quite a while. I don't know. Now see, it looks very vivid here to me. I think that sometimes the light that I have in there washes things out. But this is actually how it looks. It's very vivid, very bright, very fun. And I was really happy with how it turned out. Now I think I'm going to give you a look. I slowed it down because it just flashed on there. And that's the whole piece pretty much finished. And then I did a little close-up and you can see it's just very playful and fun to do, and no stress about straight lines or whatever. You can see all the splashes and the little extra doodle marks and things, and the carelessness and joy and fun it was to play like this. So I hope you do. If this is the first time you've watched me, I hope you do subscribe.